Tucson, and it's exciting times for us. So congratulations, Jay.
Thank you. We can do this now.
Yeah, we
Shake
can.
hands. I like that. For me, I really want to thank the Morello family and group for taking care of us through the entire pandemic and providing an opportunity down here in Tucson to develop our players. I want to take some time and talk about Bill and his staff putting faith in us to develop the next group of Coyotes. That's something that's really important to us. We take to heart, I know, our staff in Tucson. That's a big part of what we do, and that's going to be a lot of our focus. And last but not least, just our staff here in Tucson, our hockey operations staff. We mentioned Steve Potvin, John Slaney. Those guys are close friends, great coaches. Brady Morgan, who basically does everything for our entire coaching staff and most of our players. Eric and his staff that take care of our equipment, and Bill and his staff that takes care of the players, and occasionally a coach who's got a bad back every once in a while will end up on the table, but never when the players are around. We hide from those guys. So those things are really important. And I think when you start linking that together with continuity, that's where success comes from. We're excited to really tighten those bonds between our leadership, our NHL group, and our American League team. And usually when you get in these press conferences, there's what's going to be the plan, what's the catch, and for me the plan is really simple. I put a little time into thinking about it, and the plan is simple but hard. And that sounds a little confusing, but I'm going to put it in a little comparison. You take a diamond, and the diamond is a finished product. And the things that you have to get before you get to the diamond is what forms it. And the two things that really form that is time and pressure. Those are really important. And time here in the American League is important, but it doesn't have as much time as a diamond. It's quick. So we have young guys that are coming here, and they need time. They need time to get bigger. They need time to get stronger. So that's important. And we have to really be ready for that time and manage that time. And then the pressure, there's two kinds of pressure that happen in the American Hockey League. And coming back here the second time, I think I understand this slightly better. The two kinds of pressure are external and internal. And the external pressure is the schedule. It's the competition they're facing every night. And they're doing it. Some of these young guys coming from junior and college in Europe are doing it against men who have done it as a profession. And that's hard. And the schedule, the travel, we got to get on a plane, but it's the coach's job to have this team ready to play every day, and it's the player's job to be ready to play. No matter what the travel schedule was, when the meal was, when the breakfast was, none of that really matters. It matters when the puck drops. So that's a lot of external pressure. And the internal pressure that I think is most important is a lot to do with the coaching staff and the management to have expectations for these players. And when there's expectations, we hold them to those expectations. And for me, that's extremely important. And as you do that, then that expectation grows in the locker room, and it's held between the players as we start to step back through the season. And hopefully we've developed that in the guys. So the plan is simple. It sounds simple, but it's actually really hard because there's a lot of barriers that coaches, coaching staffs, players, they have to fight through mentally and physically to hopefully become NHL players, and that's what we hope to do here.
All right, let's take some questions. Let's start with Damian Alameda from KOLD and Fox 11 here in Tucson, and Kristen's here with the wireless mic for you, D. Right there.
Jay, welcome back, first of all.
Great to be back.
What did you take away? What was the biggest lesson you took away from your season up there with the Coyotes?
Consistency. I think consistency is a huge thing with NHL players. A lot of the players that play in the NHL, they have the skill, they have the size, they have the talent, but the consistency of playing at an excellent level every night, night in, night out. And that's the thing that coming back here that we're really going to focus on is as we go through trying to win hockey games, we have to make it hard on these players here because they're going to run into hard days in the NHL, and they're going to need to be ready for those days. So this is really the training ground and the development part of that to prepare guys for the NHL.
Let's go to Brett Farah from the Arizona Daily Star.
Welcome back, Jay. This is kind of a strange way to word this, but a couple seasons ago, when after Connor Garland's first year up in Glendale, he was able to come back for a couple of games, and it was pretty clear at the end of the season when he got a couple of games with the Roadrunners that he was seeing the puck differently, faster. He was just playing a different speed. Do coaches have the same situation? You know, you spent this season up in Glendale. Are you going to be able to see the game differently now that you've come back to this level that is close to that, but obviously still a stepping stone for the NHL?
Yeah, I think it's just a different lens. I don't think it's a different speed for me. I think it will be from a different lens, just in terms of really understanding. I didn't play in the NHL and I hadn't coached in the NHL until last year. But after you go through it for a year, you have a better understanding, and also the relationship with management. Bill and I talked. We sat next to each other. Like, we spent meals together. We were on the road, locked in hotels for an entire year. There's a lot of perspective that happens, and for me, coming back, I'm not guessing what that perspective is. I'm not wondering, hey, I wonder what's happening here. I know what our group is going to have to do, and I know what our players are going to need to develop.
Yeah, let's go back to Damien from KOLD and Fox 11.
I'm actually a question for both of you, and we'll start with Bill. How does Jay fit into Andreas's vision for the organization?
How does he fit into the vision? Well, he really fits in. I mean, I think one of the great things is his ability to work with young players and develop them. I think he's got a passion for the game. You don't make it to, the NHL from where he came from if you don't have passion and you don't really love the game. And I think that he shows that every time he's on the ice. He has a good thought process about purpose and what he wants to show the young players and teach, and he also has a way to communicate, through kindness and trying to get them to understand. But he also has a firmness about, insisting that it be done this way. So, the vision is really good. I think he's a key person in our organization. I mean, if you look at some of the kids that are going to come through here the next few years, it's major importance that we have, the top coaches in the American League coaching right here and developing our guys.
For me, it's easy. I know Andre. He's a great coach. We have a good relationship. I'm looking forward to it. Andre's going to be, in a lot of ways, kind of setting the coaching curriculum, so to speak, for the organization. It's going to be our job to implement that as we go along. As part of being an American League coach, and again, we've had conversations already. As soon as Andre got hired, we were on the phone talking. I've been following him. We have a lot of mutual friends. Obviously, he coached Canada for a long time. I'm a USA hockey coach, so I wasn't rooting for him all the time. But there was a fair amount of time I was watching the Canada games, and he's done a great job in Ottawa. I was in Kingston. Andre was in the league. We would talk before, after games with a lot of mutual respect.
Bill, this might be summing up some of what you've already said, but you obviously had to make some tough decisions in Glendale with changes to that coaching staff. What was it about Jay specifically that said, I got to keep this guy? I got to make sure he's still part of our organization?
That's a great question. Jay and I go way back, just from following him over the years. Had a lot of people in St. Louis always rooting for him and telling me how good a coach he was. He had some people that he knew there, and then watching him there in Sioux City and the teams that he built, and then moving it to Kingston and the OHL, and then obviously moving through the American League up to the NHL. I just have a tremendous amount of respect for what he brings to the table. He's got a passion for the game, and that's probably one of the things that I love about him. I think here I can answer this pretty directly. He wants to make people better. That's his number one purpose, and the bigger vision of that is he wants to make the team great. But he's invested in making the individual and the player better. That's probably one of the things that sticks out in my mind for me.
All right, let's take some questions from our Phoenix media. Jimmy Peebles is handling our online stream with those folks. Jimmy?
Thanks, Adrian. We'll go first to Alex Jinkoff, ArizonaCoyotes.com.
Jay, good afternoon and congratulations. I think it's safe to say an air of familiarity is important at the AHL level, and especially so here for the fans in Tucson. I'd like to go back to your coaching staff, the assistants, Steve Potvin, John Slaney, and of course, Brady Morgan. What worked well working with them those 2 years you three worked together in Tucson, and why was it the right fit for your homecoming?
Well, they're great coaches. First off, I think my first year here coming in, I didn't know those guys at all. There was a little bit of a transition phase. We were trying to implement a system that they knew a little better than I did, which was good. It was helpful. And our relationship grew with a lot of passion and respect. And each guy's got a little different strength that they bring. Potsy is a guy who's passionate about the power play, about working with guys. And, we talked about the simple and hard plan. These are guys that know the level. John Slaney played in the NHL. He's second now, first all-time AHL defenseman in points. So these guys know the level and they know the hard part that the players are going through. So if you watch these guys operate, it's a lot of stuff that happens outside the rink. It's when we're sitting in airports waiting for the Southwest flight and Potsy's in the corner of some airport talking to him, or it's the coffee that Slanes is having in the locker room before practice, and I'm looking for him to do a drill. These are the things that make those guys special. And the last guy is just Brady, which I kind of said already. He does everything for us. So if we didn't have Brady, I don't know which way we'd walk in the airport, because he's telling us where to go and when to do it.
Jay, thank you, and congratulations. Bill, one for you. I want to go off something Jay mentioned earlier about continuity. We know in the AHL, things change fast sometimes, especially roster-wise, but how important is it to have stability in the head coaching role for an AHL team? 3 years for Jay here, and that's, 2 years already.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Jay, what he's delivered in the past. And I also think that the coaching staff, a little bit what Jay talked about, that's packed around him. That's a good coaching staff, with Jay up top and Potsy and the Slanes and also Brady Morgan. Very confident in that staff that they can help develop our players and help us achieve our big goal, which is winning a Stanley Cup. And you're not going to do that without great development from the American League. So very confident and very excited about the coaching staff that's assembled for next year.
Thank you, Bill.
We'll go next to Craig Morgan, Arizona Coyotes insider.
Gentlemen, one question for each of you. Jay, first off, congratulations. One of the big reasons for putting the AHL affiliate in Tucson was to create synergy between the teams, between the staffs. You mentioned that Andre, and your job will be to implement whatever it is he's teaching at the NHL level. At the same time, how much of a challenge is that to sort of reprogram a team to doing things maybe different ways or tweak things, especially for the guys that have learned to do it another way?
It's no problem. It's exciting. It's growth. If you just sat back and did the same thing year after year after year, eventually that gets old. There's a change. There's going to probably be some changes in the tactics and structure that we're using, and that's exciting. That's growth. It'll be growth for our players and growth for our coaches, and it'll be fun to dig in. I'm sure we're going to get the computer smoking here pretty quick with some video, and it's usually what coaches do this time of year, and it's exciting. There's a little bit of excitement that, and to be honest, hey, I got to learn something new. You got to be on. Not that you don't have to be on every day, but if you go do the same things again over and over, it becomes second nature. And when there's something new, you gotta learn how to teach that something new.
Thanks, Jay. Bill, one for you. You've got all these pieces in place. At the same time, this can't be an easy conversation to have with coaches. Jay was obviously the NHL. Potts was the AHL coach. And you got it. While these are great opportunities, you also have to tell them, hey, I need you to take a step back for the organization, and yet really convince them how important they still are. How did you work through all of that?
Well, first of all, I think you're dealing with quality people. They're not always like what you have to say, but they respect it, and their main focus is to operate with the team and what's best for the team at the time. I think Potsy had a tremendous opportunity. He made the most of it down here. A lot of great feedback. Now he gets a chance to step back and kind of absorb what he did last year and support Jay and this, with the team this year. So I think in the end, it's going to make Potsy a better coach, and that's what I kind of explained to him, and along with Jay coming back from the NHL, he's excited because he's learned some few tricks up there and been around some NHL players, and now he's going to bring that knowledge back to our young kids and our young prospects that are going to take to the ice, and he's going to help them advance and learn quicker with his knowledge that he's brought from the NHL, and along with all the other things that go on up in the NHL. It's working with different people and learning different things, and I'm excited. I'm excited about Jay coming back and the coaching staff that's back in around him. And yeah, you do have difficult conversations, but that's part of my job.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Craig, I'd like to follow up on that just a little bit. It's hard. It's a simple and hard plan. Sometimes it's a hard conversation. There's players that get sent down. They're unhappy. But those players, they got to get to work when they get here. We're going to have that conversation. I don't think it's any different for myself or Potsy. Like, we're here, we're excited. Maybe there was a day or two where you had a long face, but it didn't last very long, and I think we know what we have to do down here.
Thanks again, guys.
We'll go now to Jose Romero, Arizona Republic.
Hey, Jay, congratulations. Just my question for you, just seeing Aiden Hill, seeing Michael Bunting, seeing these players that you worked with in Tucson perform, Lane Peterson as well, guys performing really well up there with the Coyotes last season. What did that do for you? And just, what was that like to just be front and center for what those guys were doing?
Oh, well, last year it was really exciting for me because I was kind of their next level of support when they came in. So there was a good strong bond and relationship there that we were trying to push them to the next level. And for me now, it's the next group. Who's the next group that we're going to push through our development system like that? Who's the next group we're going to catch from our development team, Mark Bell and Alex Henry? How are we going to do this again? Those guys set the bar pretty high for us, and so we got work to do starting today.
Oh, hey, Bill. Good afternoon. My question for you, Bill, is just seeing what you saw, what you observed from this season with those guys, and just getting a look at the Tucson organization, at what you have in the AHL in Tucson. Just what did you learn about how players are developed, and was it pleasing to you to see just kind of how much these players talked so fondly about their development in Tucson?
Yeah, it's a great place to play. It's a great place to come watch a game too. It's exciting. It's exciting as a GM for me to come down. I can drive down on our off nights and catch a game here and see our prospects. It's a huge advantage to have that. I think the feedback, from the players, they love the area. They love Tucson. They love to play down here. I think our staff off the ice is top shelf. Strength to medical. These guys, the players are provided with all those needs the same. Whether it be shakes or food after practice, we have a great setup down here for our players to develop. It's a great place. We want our players to be excited. It's a great place to play.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Jay, for coming this afternoon. We certainly do appreciate it. Thank you to the DoubleTree here at the Convention Center, our brand new neighbor. We're delighted to have them in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful hotel, and excited to have the event here to welcome Jay back to Tucson and have Bill Armstrong, general manager of the Coyotes, to introduce him. So thanks everyone for coming again, our fans, our corporate partners, our fans watching online at TucsonRoadrunners.com, as well as our local media. our Phoenix media, and we certainly do appreciate it. Busy day for us. Blood drive started for Bill in Glendale. First thing, Jay was over there at our blood drive with Vitalent right before this. So thanks everyone who contributed to that as well. I know from our standpoint we were out of spots. So appreciate all your support at our blood drive and good support in Glendale as well. Our next event. Looks like we just got it finalized. Don't tell anybody. We'll probably announce it on Monday. Friday, July 23rd, we're looking forward to an NHL draft event at the Tucson Arena. So we'll have more details for that, but save the date, and we'll see you for that, and watch all of our local news outlets for coverage of our press conference today from our great Tucson media and online with Brett Farah at Tucson.com. And thanks to Craig, Jose, and Alex up in Phoenix for checking in as well today. We certainly do appreciate it. We've got one-on-ones available over in our green room if you'd like to join us for that. Brett, Damien, we'll head over there now. And thanks again, everybody, for coming. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody.